everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Our Leaders, Our Inspiration. So I'm super glad today because I am joined by Your Excellency, Mr. Nico Barito, the Ambassador of Seychelles to Indonesia and also Special Envoy of the Republic of Seychelles for Asia. So hello, Mr. Nico.
Hi, Shannon.
Excellency.
Well, thank you. Don't call me Excellency. Call me Nico. We are friends.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mr.
I'm so
Nico.
much happy to be with you. I feel like back in school.
Oh, wow. So glad that you are able to be interviewed today. How are you?
I'm good. Just fine. Thank you.
Good, just fine. Okay, so Mr. Nico, you're the ambassador of Seychelles to Indonesia. So when you told me that you were the ambassador of Seychelles, to be completely honest, I didn't really know much about Seychelles until I Googled last night, and turns out I saw that it is actually a very, very beautiful place. May you tell us maybe a bit about Seychelles?
Well, thank you, Shannon. I'm so glad that we have a chance to meet. Thank you for coming to our missions. As much as you know that you have Google and see like Seychelles is actually an island community, an island countries. We are located in the Indian Ocean. Our ocean are huge, 1.4 million square kilometers. That is almost as the size of Kalimantan in Indonesia. We have 115 islands spread out, and we have 4 groups of islands. And among these 4 groups of islands, we have inner island and outer island, we call it, okay? But to know more, you have to go there. Anyway, we developed 1 group of islands, and we are very happy today that Seychelles is an up-and economy country. Our source of income comes from tourism, from fishery, and also from international business. Connectivity to Seychelles is good. There are many flights that come to Seychelles, so traveling to Seychelles is not a big issue. So I would like you and your audience, your supporters to join and make a study tour or eco-culture tourism to Seychelles.
Yes, I would love that. I heard it's also in South Africa, if I'm not mistaken. A part of Africa?
Nah, it is part of Africa Union. We are in the Indian Ocean, as I mentioned earlier. So geographically, we are located in the eastern coast of Africa, near Madagascar, Mauritius, Kenya, so we are around that area.
So still part of Africa?
Part of Africa. We are Africa Union.
Okay. Are there like any places you recommend for any viewers who would like to visit there in Seychelles? Because I googled last night, there is also a place called the Garden of Eden.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Well, names can be made by anyone. Yes. What I can say is actually Seychelles as a destination of tourism. We have a multi-interest object. We don't sell tourism only because of nature, but we also sell tourism through culture, through culinary. And the good things, as you may know, that islands sometimes are very limited.
Yeah.
We have mountains. So our mountains go as high as 900 meters. So it is a granite mountains. And one unique thing in Seychelles is we do have one island, which is the Heritage Island. In this island, there is a special coconut called Coco de Mer. Oh. Yeah, I will later on show you the Coco de Mer. Yeah.
How is it different from the coconut here in Indonesia?
Well, Coco de Mer is just a common coconut. But if you look at the nuts, it's a coconut. But when you took the stalk, then it will come out with a different nuts. We'll see the photo later on. You can go on first with the other subjects while waiting for the coconut to come.
All right. So in this program, our main focus is usually about education. But not only the children's education later that I'm going to ask in Seychelles, but also your education and your journey of how you finally also became an ambassador. May I know how long you've been an ambassador of Seychelles to Indonesia, sir?
Okay, thank you. Let me answer you by beginning about education, okay? Yes. In Seychelles, I'm very happy that literacy is 100%. So everyone was educated. In Seychelles, your study from elementary school even to university is free.
Oh,
It's supported by the government, okay? Then in another point of view is other services like hospital, medical are also free. Yeah, so this create a very good living atmosphere. I mean, for the young people, they have security, right? And then, but also sometimes it create problems because when everything is free, people tend to be lazy too,
Yes.
right? So in order to do that, we try to empower the youth. We try to activate the youth to be more interactive globally. So we try to create more youth entrepreneurs. We try to create more youth economy. I mean, one time we have even youth leadership programs, and I'm happy to say like many of the Seychelles young leaders also interact with Asian government, interact with Indonesian government. Like one of our prime program is about family welfare recently with Indonesia.
Oh.
Why we talk about family welfare? Because Seychelles in some way are up-end country. Our culture maybe a mixed combination of culture between Africa, British and French, right? So we see the family here is very harmony. In Seychelles, for instance, because facilities are so good that everyone wants to send the parents to the elders home.
Oh.
Yeah, in Indonesia, mama, papa, tua still stay together
Yes.
with the anak, right? Now, so this is what we want. So we learn about this culture also from Indonesia. So you see, being a young Indonesian, you should be proud, okay?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, students in our school, basically there are three main languages that we use. One is English, French, and the local language is Creole.
Crayon.
Creole is another part, it is an old traditional language. We call it native language, okay? But it sounds like French, except the spelling was different. And as much as my career is myself, I have been a senior official in UN for many years. I served United Nations for 14 years almost. Yeah, I mean, I was at UNITAR, I was at UNEP, I was at UN Habitats. You know, this is another long story that I can tell you. Okay, personally, I was born in Kalimantan, in the part of Indonesia. I grew up in North Sumatra. Then I grew up in New York. So I already enhanced a global life cycles. And when finally I settled down in Seychelles, I thought this is a small and nice country to stay and to devote all the experience to the people. But then finally we see like ASEAN is growing. So we thought we need to build a more collaboration with ASEAN. And since I come from this part of the world, here I am. And again, as I mentioned, I see young people like you. I'm very touched.
Thank you so much. Well, earlier you mentioned that everything in Seychelles are free. So, since everything is free, may I know what are like the problems that the children face there, maybe, or the difficulties that children face there, other than everything being free?
Well, I mean, as I mentioned to you, I mean, children at the basic learning is good. But I mean, it all depends on the way the family, the community, and the society develop the children.
Yes.
Right? So sometimes when parent is busy, father is busy, mother is busy, maybe children may have lost some attention. But all in all, I can tell you that in Seychelles, family are still very harmonious. You can still see parents, mother, father, taking the children to the church on Sunday morning, you know. So in general, I mean, I don't see much of big issues there, as much as education is. I mean, at least I can confirm to you that basic learning is secure and good. Yeah,
that
then
makes
advanced learning, we have University of Seychelles. And then after they finish, they can go for advanced learning in doctoral degree or other degree abroad. But maybe some of the young people who study abroad, they never come back to the island because they prefer to live in London, they prefer to live in Paris, or some of them are around in Asian countries. They may work as a banker, as an accountant, as a lawyer, maybe in Asian countries, right? Why? Because they feel probably the life in the island is a little bit slow, you know what I mean, right? Yeah. So you meet the same people, you see the same people, so you feel like maybe they feel in other part of the world, they can grow and they can become more active in the societies.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, this is a common issues, you know, and this is life in the islands. Yeah.
Yes, I'm really glad that, like what you said, education is very settled there in
Very.
Seychelles, because I really hope and I pray that Indonesia can also be the same. I currently have a foundation myself, and I'm
Yes.
building a school in NTT.
Well, very good.
So that's one of my goals, and I hope that Indonesia can be as settled as Seychelles for education. So now I would like to talk about your life and your journey.
Okay.
May I know how you were as a student?
Well, as a student, I'm okay. I mean, my parents passed away when I was 12 years old. My father passed away. So I have to struggle and learn and work by myself. So I have enhanced working while going to school. So I have undergone tough life in the young age. Yeah, we don't have so much facility, and all these limitations make us work harder. And sometimes we don't finish one university completely. Then we have to go into work and continue at the other programs, you know. But then it gives you a combination of network. I feel like probably when you learn to work at your early age, I mean, your school education will become easier. Because if you learn from all the theory, to adopt the theory into practice, it's not easy. You need time for stimulation, right? But if you start to learn by doing, I believe your education and your theoretical knowledge will complement to your learning by doing. So that is why in this world you see there are people that have talents. I mean, not everyone that have talents go to high school, you know. And so many people also go for advanced learning, high school, diploma, doctoral degree, engineers, but they don't have the talents. So who wins normally? The talents become the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Someone like Shannon is entrepreneurial youth. So you have to keep up your pace and become youth entrepreneur and become success leaders of the world. That's my wish.
Amen, amen. So I see that your key to success, as you learned from your childhood, is that you have to work hard.
Yes.
And it was all worth it because now you're Mr. Ambassador. And you mentioned earlier that you were also working for the UN
Yes.
for 14 years. May I know how long you've become the ambassador for Seychelles here in...
Well, I become adopted citizen of Seychelles from 2009. So not only in Indonesia, but in a few different assignments. But then specifically for ASEAN, I think this is already 6 years.
6 years?
Yeah.
I see. And may you explain to us the journey of you working at the UN too? Because I personally have a dream to work in the UN in the future.
Okay.
Yes. So I would like to learn.
Well, I mean, working in UN is actually a multilateral era. So you don't develop a bilateral economy, but you develop multilateral economy. When I say multilateral skill, is actually you try to comprehend different party, different country, and different interests.
So I think that I can learn a lot from you.
Well,
based on what you've experienced throughout your life. What do you think is like an important lesson that you've learned throughout your life with all of the things that you worked with?
well, I mean, the important thing is life is, I mean, I believe you have to trust in yourself. You have to have confidence. A part of confidence, you always have to care for others.
Yes.
Because life is not only for ourselves, right? I mean, in life, you see, some substance can live without us. Flowers, trees in the forest. I mentioned this during Tomohon Festival, where we met, right?
Yes.
In my speech, I said, flowers, trees can grow without human. But human cannot live because we need the carbon, we need the clean air, right? And we need the biodiversity to sustain our life, right? So meaning not only be good to others, but also we have to be good to nature.
Yes.
Because we are all part of nature. And last but not least is always trust in the Lord, trust in Allah Almighty, that you always are blessed with your wisdom, and your wisdom will be devoted to other people's. And always try to be sincere in life. Do what you can do. Don't overpromise. Then don't fail the trust and the love of others.
Oh, I love that so much. I love that you quoted the we should live to help other people, because
Yes.
that's actually something that my parents always taught me ever since I was young. And I totally agree because, well, we can't just live on this earth for ourselves. We live to be helped by one another, and we need each other to survive. So I think lastly, what's like a message you would like to give to the young generation to motivate them that you can achieve what you want if you dream hard, whatever you dream, if you work hard?
I fully agree with you, Shannon. I mean, life, you have to work hard, but then you also have to have a dream.
Yes.
Yeah, in order to have a dream, but don't ever feel stressed or sad if your dream didn't come true.
I agree.
Some people feel like, I want to become someone. I want to become a special profession, but then the achievement didn't come through, and then they got stressed. For me, I think you don't have to be stressed about this, okay? Because this is life. It comes and goes. Sometimes you diverted your life from one portfolio, then you have another better portfolio in front of you. Right, so we believe that there is always a good way and a good path for us to live, to be loved, and to love.
Wow. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Nico. Thank you so much for your time. I think that's it. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching this episode of Our Leaders, Our Inspiration. I will see you in the next episode.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you all the YouTubers for Shannon. I am really proud and to be here with Shannon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.